Welcome back to Steve and Abby English. I am Steve.
And I'm Abby. And Steve, I want to start today with something that I heard recently that sounds good on the surface, but I keep coming back to with questions.
Okay, what is it?
People keep saying that AI is going to make work easier. The argument is, AI handles all the tedious stuff. The boring tasks, the repetitive tasks, the stuff nobody wants to do, and that frees you up to focus on the creative, meaningful, high-value work.
That does sound appealing.
It really does. And I believed it for a while. But then I started actually tracking what AI was taking off my plate. And I noticed something. The things AI was doing were not just boring. Some of those things were actually serving a purpose I had not noticed.
Say more.
Like, I used to write a lot of routine summary emails. Not difficult, kind of tedious. Now AI drafts those for me. Great! But those emails also kept me closely connected to the details of what was happening on projects. I was processing information, noticing things, catching small issues every time I wrote one. Now AI does that processing, and I review the output. And I wonder, am I still as on top of things as I was?
The easy parts were not just filler.
They were not just filler. And that is what we want to talk about today. Because I think the assumption that easy equals disposable is missing something. And I want to figure out what.
Okay, let me start here. When we talk about the easy parts of a job, what do we usually mean? I think most people picture things like formatting a document, summarizing a meeting, doing a first draft of a routine email, compiling data into a basic table, answering a common question that comes up over and over.
Yeah, the stuff you can do on autopilot. The stuff where you are not really thinking hard.
And the assumption is, these tasks are not where the value is. The value is in the hard stuff, the judgment calls, the creative work, the decisions. So if AI takes the easy stuff, it is just clearing space for the real work.
Which again, sounds great.
It does. But I want to offer a different way of looking at some of those easy tasks. Because I think some of them, not all, but some, were doing things for your skills and your understanding that we do not fully appreciate until they are gone.
Like what?
Let me give you a concrete example. A lot of data work starts with something called cleaning the data, cleaning, which means going through a data set and fixing errors, standardizing formats, removing things that do not belong. It is tedious. It takes time. Nobody loves it.
I have done this. Ugh. I remember staring at spreadsheets for hours.
But here is what that process gives you. You touch every row of data. You see the weirdness and the gaps and the outliers. By the time you finish cleaning, you know that data set. You understand its shape. You know what is typical and what is unusual.
And that knowledge shows up later when you are analyzing the data and interpreting the results.
Exactly. If AI cleans the data for you, you get a clean data set, which is great. But you do not have the knowledge that came from touching it yourself. And you might not even know what you are missing because the output looks the same.
The output is clean data either way. But something different happened in you.
Right. The easy task was also a learning process. And when you outsource the task, you also outsource the learning.
Okay, I want to add another dimension to this, which is about cognitive rest. That sounds a little academic. Let me explain what I mean.
Please.
So, when I am working, not every task requires the same level of mental energy. The hard tasks, the decision-making, the creative thinking, the solving of complicated problems, those are draining. They use up a lot of focus. And the easy tasks, the routine, the repetitive, the automatic, those are actually kind of restful. Your hands are busy, but your mind is partially free.
Like going for a walk.
Yes, exactly. When you go for a walk, your body is active, but your mind can relax or wander. And that restful state is actually really valuable. That is when a lot of creative thinking and problem solving happens in the background.
People often say their best ideas come to them in the shower, or on a drive, or doing the dishes.
Because those are low-demand tasks that keep your body engaged but free your mind. The easy tasks at work can serve the same function. You are processing emails or formatting a document, and in the background, your brain is quietly working on the hard thing you were just struggling with.
And if AI takes all the easy tasks?
Then you are doing hard things all day with no natural breaks. Everything on your plate is demanding, and sustained high-demand work without breaks is genuinely exhausting. There is a reason people do not sprint for 8 hours straight.
So paradoxically, removing the easy tasks might make the day harder, not easier.
Not for everyone, and not in every job. But for some people, in some roles, yes. The easy parts were the rest between the hard parts. And without the rest, the hard parts get harder.
Okay, now let me talk about the other side of this, which is what you are left with when AI takes the easy parts. Because I think this is where the story gets really interesting.
The hard parts.
Right. So if AI reliably handles the easy tasks, what remains on your plate is, by definition, the hardest work. The judgment calls, the ambiguous situations, the things that require context and relationships and history, the problems nobody has a template for.
That sounds good in the abstract. You are only doing the most valuable work.
It does sound good. But think about what a workday full of only hard things actually feels like.
I mean, heavy, right? Like, if I spent my entire workday on only the most complex, difficult, high-stakes problems, I would be completely wiped out by 2 p.m.
Because cognitive load, COGNITIVELOAD, that means the mental effort a task requires, is something people can only sustain for limited amounts of time. Your brain is not a machine. It gets tired. It needs variation.
And there is another thing. The easy tasks I do at work, some of them are actually where I build confidence. Like, I know I am good at certain things because I have done them 100 times. They are easy for me now because I have practiced.
And the experience of doing something well, even something simple, contributes to your sense of competence and energy for the harder work.
I have noticed that on days where I clear a bunch of easy things from my list, I feel more capable and ready for the hard things. Versus days where I have only hard things waiting and I feel already behind before I start.
So, the easy tasks, in some ways, are the warm-up before the main event. Not filler, not waste. Part of the rhythm.
And AI might be disrupting that rhythm in ways that are not immediately obvious.
Okay, but I want to be careful here, because I do not want us to end up in the place of saying, the easy stuff is valuable, therefore never use AI for it. That would be going too far.
Definitely. Some easy tasks are genuinely just friction. They consume time and energy and do not give anything back. No learning, no rest, no rhythm. Those are fair to automate.
So how do you tell the difference?
That is the question. And I have been thinking about a test that I find useful. It has 2 parts.
Tell me.
First, am I learning something by doing this task myself? Not every time. But over time, am I developing understanding, catching things, building familiarity? If yes, it might be worth keeping, at least sometimes.
And if no?
If no, if it is genuinely just repetitive and teaches me nothing, that is a good candidate to automate.
And the second part of the test?
Does doing this task give me mental space, or does it drain mental space? Like, do I feel a little more settled and capable after doing a batch of these? Or do I feel more exhausted?
Routine tasks that restore a little energy. Keep some of those.
Tasks that just grind you down with no payoff? automate those without guilt.
I like this test. It is practical and it is personal. Because the answer is going to be different for different people in different jobs.
And also different at different stages of your career. The same task might be valuable learning when you are new, and genuinely mechanical once you have done it 1,000 times.
Which means your answer to the test should probably change over time too.
Okay, I want to add one more thing before we wrap up. And it is about how you manage AI at work right now.
Go ahead.
A lot of people I talk to, and honestly myself included for a while, just reach for AI automatically whenever something is easy or tedious. The task comes up, you open the tool, you get the output. No pause, no decision, just default.
And the default is not wrong in itself. It is just not conscious.
Right. It is not that AI is bad. It is that when you default to it without thinking, you might be giving away things that were worth keeping. Not every time, but enough that it adds up.
So the invitation is to be more intentional. To not just ask, can AI do this, but do I want AI to do this? Because those are different questions.
Can AI do this is almost always yes now. The interesting question is, should AI do this for me today?
And the for me and the today in that sentence matter.
Because it depends on who you are, what you are trying to develop, where you are in a task, and what kind of day it is. There is no one-size answer.
Which means the skill is not just using AI. The skill is thinking about how and when to use AI, which, funnily enough, is a judgment skill, not a technical skill.
And we just talked about judgment skills being the ones machines cannot replace.
So even how you manage AI turns out to require human judgment.
There is no escape.
There really is not. You cannot automate your way out of needing to think.
Okay, here is where I want to leave everyone today. Look at how you are using AI in your work right now. Not to judge it, not to change everything, just to look at it clearly.
And for each thing AI is doing for you, ask the two questions. Am I learning something by doing this myself? And does doing this give me mental space or take it away?
If the answer is yes to either question, consider keeping that task, at least some of the time. Not because AI is bad, but because that task might be doing something for you that you have not noticed yet.
And if the answer is no to both, it teaches you nothing and it drains you. Let AI have it. That is what it is there for.
The goal is not to resist AI. The goal is to use it in a way that makes you more capable, not less, more energized, not more drained.
That sounds like what we all actually want.
I think it is.
All right, that is everything for today. Thank you so much for listening to Steve and Abby English.
If this episode made you look at something you normally do on autopilot with a little more curiosity, good. We intended that.
Share it with someone who is also trying to figure out how to use AI well. There are a lot of us out here.
And we will see you in the next one.
See you then.